Kate Condren, and today I will be talking about the country of Nicaragua. In the early 16th century, Nicaragua was settled as a Spanish colony, stemming from conquistadors from Panama. Nicaragua declared independence from Spain in 1821 and became an independent republic in 1838, naming their capital city Managua. Gil Gonzalez de Villa, the conquistador who explored the area in 1622, combined the name of the community he discovered, Nicaro, with agua, water, referring to the large lakes in the west of the country, Lake Managua and Lake Nicaragua. Nicaragua has a presidential republic with an executive, judicial, and legislative branch, with President José Daniel Ortega Saavedra, who has been in power since January 2007, and his vice president and wife, Rosario Maria Zambrana, since January 2017. The presidential cabinet is comprised of the Council of Ministers appointed by the president, who can help advise the president on important policy decisions. Nicaragua is the poorest country in Central America and the second poorest in the Western Hemisphere, with widespread unemployment and poverty. Their top three export commodities are beef, coffee, and gold, with textiles and agriculture nearly accounting for 50% of Nicaragua's exports. In 2017, Nicaragua's annual GDP was $13.81 billion, but GDP growth of 4.5% in 2017 was insufficient to make a significant difference. In the second half of my presentation, I will be discussing three case study topics and their relationship with women in Nicaragua. The first topic is gender roles. Gender inequality is a massive issue in Nicaragua, with 57% of people in Nicaragua believing that women are not treated with respect and dignity, according to a 2014 poll from Gallup. Diana Aguilar, a psychiatrist working with Casa Alianza, a safe house for street children and child prostitutes, says Nicaragua has a domestic abuse problem. We have a sexual abuse problem. We have a child abuse problem. One of the major healthcare crises in Nicaragua is in regards to HIV and AIDS and their relationship with Nicaraguan women. Access to HIV and AIDS testing is limited for Nicaraguan women, making their risk so much higher. The World Health Organization asserts that HIV and AIDS cases among women grow at a faster rate in Nicaragua than among men. Another issue is reproductive health. According to the Center for Reproductive Rights, Nicaragua does not allow a woman to have an abortion under any circumstance and would be considered a criminal offense if caught. Under Nicaragua's criminal code, women and girls who terminate pregnancies face sentences up to 2 years in prison, and medical professionals can be sentenced to up to 6 years for providing abortions. According to 2014 data from the International Labor Organization, Nicaragua's labor force consists of 48% women and 80% men, as opposed to the United States, whose workforce is more equal, with 56% of women and 69% of men. These ideas stem from the machismo culture that is rampant in Latin America, especially in Nicaragua. Machismo culture describes the sense of being manly and self-reliant, or a man's responsibility to provide, protect, and defend his family. During this project, I learned that Nicaragua has an intense history of government corruption, foreign intervention, and guerrilla groups that have continued on for years. Government corruption and abuse of power by both the president and vice president has sent Nicaragua into a wave of protests and marches. Nicaragua has been struggling since the time of its creation with poverty, unemployment, corruption, and abuse, much like many of the American countries surrounding it. As mentioned earlier, government corruption is one of the main issues surrounding Nicaragua and its governmental issues. With the number of protests and marches against the oppressive Ortega presidency, it is clear to the population of Nicaragua that it is done with the Ortegas and their abuses and aim to push the Ortegas out of power. Daniel Ortega himself came into power in the wake of a revolution, so it is only fitting that he is removed from power with the revolution from the people. After following the Nicaraguan protests on the news over the past 2 years, my faith in the country and the region in regards to overthrowing oppressive, power-hungry, and corrupt leaders, as well as governments, is strengthened, as well as my hope for the region as a whole.